Very, very important is making a knife, making a shechita chalif. That's, if not the most important idea that a shaykhit has to have in his hand. It should be the quickest way possible to make a knife. You're standing there on the line, people are waiting, or even if not, there is this idea that you're in a situation that you have to make your knife as fast as possible. I was told by a few shachtim, if not one of the greatest shachtim there are, there's shachtim in the world. I was able to be in Australia to speak to the two shachtim over there, the Lebser shachtim. I actually was in London also by one of the sheikhs, the brother of the sheikhit. We spoke to him also. And now we're in Russia with the sheikhit Arashi. So the idea that I want to speak about is making a chalif, and each person has their own way. There is no Mesaida. We know there is a two-side knife and a one-side knife. What exactly is the two-side knife? Some people say that anything on another side is called a two-side knife. Because the way it used to be, if you look at a chalif, if you look at a knife, if you take a knife and you look at the knife, one side goes up straight and the other side is a little bit on a tilt. So what would it be? Two sides, one side, and on the other side anything. Some people say that the two-side knife is exactly 50-50. Whatever you do on one side, you do on the other side. So if you're going on the stone 100 times, let's say it's the red stone or the white stone or the green stone, to do the same thing on the other side. Some people say no, you do 100 on one side, 50 on the other side. What exactly the two-side knife is, we can't go into details into pratim, but the nekuda is, it has to be each shaykhit to his own, to his hand, the way he gets himself trained with it. He has to feel his knife, the way he decides to do it. He does his chalif. One of the things I was told before I even start, which I practiced with a oifis knife on a black stone or a green stone, just to get my hand used to the mode of going up and down on the knife, on the stone. Then after that you could go to the carborundum stone, or if you want to go to the red stone. But first, if you don't want to ruin your actual knife, or you should go on a black stone or a green stone which won't ruin the knife, or you could take a kitchen knife or a different knife and practice on another knife on any stone you want. It's a red stone. But the idea is, if you don't want to ruin your knife or your stone, don't go straight with your shechita knife straight to the side to learn and just go on a stone, because it'll ruin something. And if it's expensive, it's not the greatest thing to do. I decided, the way I was pushed, to do at least 100 hours. 100 hours, literally 100 hours on a knife on the stone. It's not bittul Torah, it's important to just learn how to have the tnuah of your hand on the stone. One thing I was told is that your hand and the knife, while you're using it, turns into one thing. Your hand doesn't go up and down like that, or your elbow. Everything has to be one beam, up and down. Some people, when they do the knife, they do parts, which is brought down. And one of the shachtim explained to us that that's how the previous Rebbe told the people. Some people say it's a hira prati, each person to their own. Some people go up and down the whole stone and the knife at the same time. A person has to count when he takes the stone. If he doesn't want his knife to be a little off, he should make sure he has in his head and he counts how much he's going to go on the stone one side. When he turns it over, how much he's going to go on the other side. You should count. If not, it's going to ruin the stone, the knife. Also, you should use the whole stone. Don't use just the middle, because then your stone will have a very nice roller coaster. So it's important that when you go up and down, you start from the bottom of the stone, you go all the way up. If you're going to do it in parts, or you should also use the whole knife, because you don't want your knife to have a stomach, as they call it. The stones starts with a red stone or a carborundum, which is a rougher stone, to get a tzad on the stone. And again, it's being patient, perseverance. It's going to take time. And even professional shaftim, they always have 2 or 3 knives ready, and the sheikh always has to have his knives ready. Here is a stone, a sandwich. You can't eat it, but it's called a sandwich. Now, if you want, this is a king stone, a Japanese stone. Each person to their own. I'm not advertising for anybody. This is one of the greatest stones. It's good for the knife. The stone is very good. Stark. You have the red and the white together. People have Belgium, Schmelgium, whatever you want. Everything is good. Now, you have to be careful. You have to be, when you start with your knife on the stone, that the stone is open. How do you see if it's open? You put it under the water. You put it under the water. If it gets dry right away, you know it's not open. If it gets dry, there's nothing on the whole stone. The water is not on the whole stone. So you know right away that it's not open. So you're wasting your time. It's already starting to come dry on the edges. It's not good. So what do? People have sandpaper. Different people buy a little sponge with on the other side there is a little sandpaper stuck to it. Doesn't make a difference how. You do whatever is comfortable for you. This is the yellow one for the white. You put it under the water. Make sure everything's wet. And you lightly go up and down on the stone. There's something called blotta. You should start to see on the stone that it's opening up, that it's getting clean, that you see it over here, it's coming out. You could see that you're actually opening up the stone. And that means the stone is open, and you want to wash it off. You don't want it to stay on your stone, because then it's not good for the knife. Also, warm water is not good. You do not want warm. Cold is better than hot. A stone which already has this chalif, which already was used to shech, has already a tzad. You want to just make it smoother. You want to make it easier and chad l'cholor. So here we're going to give it chalakus. We're going to give it smoothness. We're not going to give it. It also brings chadus. It also brings sharpness. And if you look closely, there's different ways how to do it. You have from the bottom. You have from the bottom of the stone to the top. Hand shouldn't be up and down. You don't want to go up and down on the knife, which that's part of the practice. Just standing there with your knife on the stone, going up and down, up and down. Again, your hand and the knife are one thing. No moving, no like this, like that. You just slightly, you don't have to push. You touch the knife on the stone. You're touching slightly. Make sure it doesn't go up and down. And you just go, if it's halakin, you do half of the knife, half of the knife, half of the knife. Then you do the bottom half, bottom half, bottom half, up, Now you switch it over to the other side. Again, the sink is on if you hear it or not. And you just do the same thing on the other side. How exactly you want to count, how many times you want to do it on the stone, there is no rules. There's no rules how many you do on one side, how many you do on the other side. Each person to their own. And also depends what's the problem on the knife. If you feel a headache, if you feel a pagam, you should do it on the red. You're using up the stone, you're using up the knife, it's part of it, that's what happens. Never push. Be careful. You have to, once in a while you go through the knife, you check it. If there's something there, if your hand is wet, make sure the knife is wet. If your hand is dry, the knife should be dry. You shouldn't be after l'chaim checking the knife because then it's always good. If you're after l'chaim. There's nothing here, you don't feel anything. You're talking about if somebody wants to go shechting, you shouldn't be with a easy, nothing good comes easy. You want to talk about a knife that's going to shecht hundreds of thousands of chickens, not have a problem. It has to be sharp, it has to be good, it has to be strong. The type of knife you use. I personally have a nice amount of different knives. This is one knife. This is a stronger knife, a different knife. There is a Witkin knife. That was just a commercial, you know, stuff in the middle pop up. The phone fell. But there is a different type of chalif. Each person has their knife. Today, it's better to get a bigger chalif, especially a new shaychit, and it's just easier. And all shachtim use a bigger chalif. This is a oifis Witkin chalif, alta chalif. There's also Lublinsky, there's Miller, stuff that if you could get it, it's probably like a bracha.